Well, the night Barack Obama was elected president, he vowed to fulfill one last campaign promise. It's to get his daughters, Sasha and Malia, a dog, of course, for their new home. Well, months of waiting for the first daughters is finally over, as the first family is set now to introduce the first pooch to the world today. Bo, as they've named him, is a Portuguese water dog. There he is. And to tell us everything about Bo and his pedigree is ABC's resident vet, Dr. Marty Becker. Doctor, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
And I should point out that you're joining us via Skype from your Almost Heaven ranch in northern Idaho. I love the name of your ranch.
Can you believe I can be up here in a horse ranch halfway up a mile-high mountain and then have high-speed internet access? Isn't it a miracle?
It is amazing. It is amazing. So let's talk about the Obamas and their pick of a Portuguese water dog. How did they come around to picking this particular breed?
One of the first things I want to tell you, it's interesting. I've asked celebrities, corporate heads, famous sports athletes this question, think back to the first pet you ever owned in your life, and anybody that is watching or listening to this, all of a sudden you get transformed back to that magical first pet you had. It might have been a dog, a cat, may even been a bird or a fish. But we all instantly warm as we think back to that. So what a monumental time this is, and those girls, that whole family will always remember this time of getting that dog. The idea here was that one of the children, Obama children, was allergic, and Malia needed something that was what we call hypoallergenic. And we actually just wrote an article in Parade magazine. There is no such thing as a non-allergenic dog. There are hypoallergenic or low allergenic dogs. And contrary to popular belief, it's not the hair that causes allergies. It's actually the dander. So saliva, sebaceous glands, it gets dried up and it gets carried by the hair. So what causes the allergies is the dander. So they picked one of the breeds that is what we call a hypoallergenic dog.
So from what you know, did Bo have to go through some sort of doggy etiquette school? I mean, this dog is going to be living at the White House. Was he properly vetted?
This thing went from the doghouse to the White House from the Pound Pennsylvania Avenue. This is unbelievable. Well, vetted, no pun intended. The very best way to pick a dog out is if you don't do your research ahead of time, if you smell puppy breath, you could adopt a werewolf puppy. I mean, anytime you see those great big eyes and smell that toxic puppy breath, it's like, oh gosh, I want it, I want it. And too many times we make the wrong decisions based just on emotion. And here it was a very thoughtful process. They were around that breed of dog so they could see how they responded. Were they going to be allergenic to that particular breed? This line comes from the same ones that Ted Kennedy's dogs are all from. So, if those dogs didn't cause an allergic reaction to Malia, then certainly this dog wasn't as well. So they picked a good dog, and also that dog is an interesting dog. You hear of an Australian cattle dog, and you assume, well, they must be from Australia. Well, believe it or not, they're from the United States, but a Portuguese water dog is from Portugal. They were a working dog, and this is really interesting. You hear retrievers and you hear herding dogs. These dogs, believe it or not, were both. They would actually be put into the water and they would herd fish towards the nets, and actually if fish got out that were wounded, they would retrieve fish that got out of the nets. And they would also take messages from the ship to the shore, or from the shore back to ships, or from ship to ship. So talk about a working dog, before cell phones and Skype. There was this dog hauling messages boat to boat, retrieving fish and all that stuff. It's really interesting.
Right. Well, Bo is going to be kind of bored then at the White House. What is Bo going to do? Is there enough water for this dog to get out there and do a little swimming?
Well, it's always funny about dogs. We had a black Labrador retriever named Sirloin that it put one foot in the water and just repel him like he had it on, on a hot skillet. So you never know each individual breed. But one of the things that I like people to do is always find a way for a pet to express their genetic exuberance. So, if you have a retriever and you're not going to be a hunter, they retrieve a tennis ball. If you have a border collie that's a herding dog and you want them to express their genetic exuberance, look who just came up to see me here. So the star of the show here, our little dog Cody, came up. He's raking me with his claw, and he wants a kiss from his father. Oh yeah, I love you too, Cody.
He wanted to get on ABC News Now. Be honest.
I'm not kidding. He's down here just raking me. He's like, I want some attention. But, you know, this dog, if the biggest thing for any dog is enough exercise to be panting tired every day. If they get panting tired, not only does it help the pounds melt away, you know, 50% of America's pets are overweight or obese, but behavioral problems melt away as well. So that dog gets a lot of exercise with 2 young girls, which I'm sure it will.
Yeah. So,
and you know, one other thing I have to mention, can you imagine the president? He deals with people all day. And with people, there's duplicity, there's hidden agendas, there's performances, there's posturing for personal gain. He's going to come back to the White House, and he's going to go downstairs with that dog. And, you know, he gets treated like this, you know, what's he get? Unconditional love, limitless affection, to die for loyalty, and the only coercion is maybe to get an extra treat.
Yeah, you can't beat it, right?
Yeah.
So how did the family come up with the name Bo? A lot of people are going to be asking that question.
Well, Michelle Obama, the First Lady's father, was nicknamed Diddley, so it's just a takeoff. Bo Diddley is how they came up with the name. And you know, one of the things that's interesting, I've been in dog walks where there was 5,000 dogs before with their owners, and they'll go play with other dogs and they'll talk with, you know, interact with other people, but at the end of the day, they go back to their owner. So here you have this bond that'll last a lifetime. But if you watch like seeing eye dogs or dogs that end up in shelters, we call it the transference of the bond. You know, here was a dog that was was purchased by somebody else and was a nice family dog, but it takes just a very short time for that dog now, Bo, to accept its new name. Yeah. Especially when it's connected with some treats, you know, when you say, "Hey, Bo, you want your little treat?" "Yeah, you do. You want your treat?" "Oh, yeah, you do." And you do that little silly talk we all do. Trust me,
you're pretty good at it. Any advice, doctor, for the Obamas when it comes to raising Bo?
Well, for anybody that has pets that have allergies, again, there are lower allergenic breeds like a Portuguese Water Dogs and Poodles and things like that. But bathing is the #1 thing you do for allergies. And even if it's just cold water or cool water, wash the allergens off. If you do it weekly, that's what we do here for Coyote, our little dog. His full name is Coyote de la Rancha.
Wow.
But exercise your dogs. 50% of America's pets are overweight or obese, so get your dog panting tired every day. Bathe them once a week to reduce your allergies. There's some great new products out there for shedding. You know, shedding is the #1 pet owner complaint, so there's some incredible new products out there. Matter of fact, we're going to be doing a Good Morning America segment coming up on that very topic.
All right, sounds good, and I'm sure Bo will be very well looked after and lead a very, very nice life. Dr. Marty Becker, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, lots of fun there. And that's all we have for this edition of Now You Know. I'm Jackie Hyland in New York. Thanks so much for watching.
ABC News Now. Good to know.